Hey, how's everyone doing? My name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday afternoon live. We always get together on Wednesday afternoons at 2 p.m. There you go. 2 p.m. to draw a portrait. And today I'm going to show you, we're going to draw this gentleman here, someone in our group. I can't remember who it was who threw it out there. Suggested that we gave me some options, and this turned out to be a great picture. We're going to go over hair a little bit today, especially this area of the beard. So that's what we're going to do. And let me just check the chat here. I am live, so if you have a question, by all means, or a comment, I'm always watching it. Kevin's chimed in, and he is calling in from Ohio. It's gray and windy. Well, Kevin, Pennsylvania's reporting in. It's nice outside, sunny, bright, and it has a nice chilly spring afternoon. So there's to you, okay? Hopefully our sun will come your direction, my dear friend. All right, well, let's get right to work here at this, and before we jump into this, let's take a look at this beard here, and I want to talk about drawing hair just a little bit, okay? So let's see, let's bring up this color right there, and then we're gonna bring up this color here. All right, so much easier for me to jump back and forth. So let's take a quick dive into this little area right here, okay? So a lot of times when you start drawing, if you're not sure about a particular area, you want to isolate that area, slow down, and take a quick look at it, okay? So let's break this down. Now this is how I would do it. And let's just walk through the steps here, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is kind of generally, very, very lightly, just kind of gesture that little bit of hair, all right? In fact, I'm going to make this bigger here for you. All right, so we got that little section there. Okay, let's come down here and do this. I do want to show you this idea. So we're going to do like a C, like an S curve. You see that S curve right there? There's a thing in drawing. If you draw lines parallel, this doesn't give a lot of action. It's not a lot of interest. But if you draw something like this, these two lines are using force. It ends up, you get this nice conflict here, okay? The same thing happens when you do this, when you draw a letter Y, okay? Or an overlap. You're creating tension and conflict here. This could be very interesting, all right? This just kind of flows right through. That's why you try and, so it's not, those marks aren't bad. It's just realize that your eye is going to go right through those type of marks. So let's jump back over here to our hair here. So what we want to do then is come over here and come in like this. This is going to start creating some interest or tension there. And then we're going to come around like this. And then right here, we're going to move up here just a bit and then come in something like this. Then down over here, we'll do the same thing. We'll come back around. And you could almost do this all day long by getting these overlaps. So right now, this is very flat. It's very flat. What we're going to do is we're going to create volume on this, okay? So what I would do then is I'd come in here like this with some fine lines to simulate hair. Then right here, you're going to come in this way. Then right here, you might end up not even connecting them. This is going to cause a bit of a reflection. So you just continue to make your way down this drawing using overlap. Using force. To create this interweaving hair. Let's do that again. This time, what I want you to think is, I want you to think of a ribbon, okay? So think of a flat ribbon. If a flat ribbon came around like this, right? Then it came like this, right? It might come out on that side there. This is another excellent way to think of hair. This might have some tone underneath here, like this. So you really want to think hair as in like a mass or a group, and then you go into that, and then you make your finer details, okay? Let's look at his mustache really quick. So it's a 3/4 view mustache, so we want to shift more on this side here. Now, right here, it's really not in the picture, but I did a little bit of an overlap. You see that? I did this. This has a more strong cartoon look, where this is subtle, but it makes a big difference. And then you can see his mustache is cascading over. So we want to make sure when we put our lines in place, we're following the surface of his mustache. And I'm thinking of overlap with my line, so and then of course if I'm looking at the picture I can see that his right side is a little bit more in tone. So I can add more tone on the right side than on the left. Oh, hey John, what is up? So that kind of gives you just a quick little overview of practicing these this beard before we get started. But I just wanted to grab that, just give you a second to think that through just a bit. Hair, don't rush the hair. It could be a very exciting place of your drawing, and you have to really concentrate and think through it. It's just like folds of fabric or hair. They both require a lot of attention. Hey Allison. Okay, let's get to work here. All right, let's go ahead and start just with a sphere for his face. This is already going to be too big, but we'll go with that for right now. All right, so whenever I draw a head, I have 3 steps I always go through. I try and determine the 2D axis. Is the head tilting to the right or is it tilting to the left? That's the first 2D axis. And his head is slightly tilted to the right, tilted to his right. And actually that might be too much what I got right there. There you go, that's better. All right. We determine the 2D axis, then we ask ourselves, is the head coming forward or is it going back? And in this case, the head is looking straight at us, so it's neither coming forward nor back. And then we've got to determine where along these 2 axes is his face painting, is his face pointing, okay? So his face is going to be, it's a 3/4 view, because we could see less of his right side than of his left. So it's really that this is going to be about the center line. It's going to be just about there. Oh, hold a second. All right. I had to blow my nose. Okay, so we have the center line of his face, and we see that matches the same angle. So now let's come in here now and get his eye line. And I think his eye line is going to be something like this. So this point right there, let's just put a little black here, right? Is going to be right there. That's like the center point, okay? All right, next thing I want to do is I want to determine where the temples are. The temples are on the outside part of your eyebrows. So we're going to come over here maybe. And then this other one's going to be over here. And then this other one's going to be over here. temple, temple. And when we look at a head straight on, usually the sides of the head are very flat. If I look at a head in profile, oh, look at that. If I look at a head in profile, it's very round. You see that? Okay, so that means here we're looking at it in 3/4 view. It's going to be very flat over there, and the same thing over here. It's going to be very flat. So you can take your eraser and sort of erase that back in there. All right, let's get an estimation where the bottom of his nose is. So from the center line to the bottom of his nose, usually that's like 1/3 of the face, but because his head is covered up with that beard there, we're gonna have to estimate this. Now you could look at the proportion between the temples and the center and the bottom of his nose, and that could be a very good way of measuring the bottom, about where the bottom of his nose falls. Mine could probably be a little bit longer there. And then usually you take that same distance and you determine the bottom of his chin, okay? All right, now I'm going to kind of get his jawline in here that you can't see because of that beard. All right, let's go ahead and work on that nose now. Now, if you look at his nose, he has the very center point of the nose is a very big, it has a very big ball aspect to it. So let's put that in. And you want to make sure that there's going to be more of the ball toward the left than the right, because it's a 3/4 view. All right. Now, when I'm drawing a portrait, now at this point, what I like to do is I like to use both shape and volume to get these things down. Hey, Allison, I don't know when you chimed in, but I just looked down and saw that. Okay, so the first shape that I see that's important to me is, look at this. This is a nice little angle here. You see that? That's a good little shape. Let's lightly put that shape in right there. All right, so I'm gonna come in here like this. Okay. All right, so now I've got this nose coming down here like that, right? let's get this wing on his nose over here on this side, right? So we're just gonna, it's a little bit wider. I can see that immediately. And there's gonna be a slight overlap right there. Did you see that? It was subtle, but this can make a big difference. Right there. You see that? That little overlap there. All right, let's jump back to the other side of his nose and just put a little, look, the nostril is just very visible, slightly. So don't, make sure you make it much smaller and get that nice overlap right in there. You see that? On this side. Okay, let's jump up to the top of his nose now. And I'm thinking about the top part of his nose right in here, what I just put down. And then look at these are great. You see those two marks right there? Those are the his brow that's coming together. But when I see those, whenever I see those marks on somebody, I don't just think of these. I think of this. This whole area is pushing together. Same thing here. Look, this whole area is pushing together. All right. You want to think of bigger areas. What's causing those wrinkles? Okay, and that will help give your drawing so much more life. So I'm here. I'm gonna like, all right. So we've got this going here. And then the other side. Okay, let's put the eyes in place now. So one of the other tools of measurement I like to use are vertical lines. What things line up vertically, all right? So if this is the wing of his nose here, and I run a straight line up, look at that. That gives me a pretty good idea about where that eye is gonna fall there. And if I come to the other side of this, okay, you could kind of get an idea of how that eye is lining up with the outside of his nose there. So let's see. If I go to the outside here, I'm going to draw this lightly. And let's just work on this one first, okay? So look at this here. Look at this eye. We've got 1, 2, 3. You see that? And then a simple curve underneath. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to come in here like this. 1. Oops. 2. 3. I didn't even look at the picture. Am I close? I hope so. And then very lightly. Okay, very lightly we're going to get the bottom part of that in. We'll come back and work on that just a little bit more in just a second. All right, but let's keep going with the other eye. So we're going to draw a straight line coming up here from the nostril to the nose. And where does, let's just double check here. Okay, that almost goes pretty close to his tear duct on this side over here. So I'm going to really come up. Boy, this thing really, how far, boy, that goes all the way out to the temple. You see that? And then I'm just going to put a little I'm just going to fill in that whole eye there. Something like that. Okay, now he has these incredible, awesome looking bags under his eyes. These are awesome. So let's come in here like this. Just like that. How about the other side? Okay, same thing. This is coming down, so these bags are shifting to the right. Okay, let's get these eyebrows in. Eyebrow on the right. Look at when I'm going to draw these eyebrows. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking from this to this. I'm looking for this negative space here. That's what I'm going to try and match, okay? All right, what about the other side there? Let's see, we're going to come up. Now, one thing when you draw noses, let's just say this is the tip of the nose. If you think of the idea of this being a sphere, and if you're going to shade a sphere, what you would do is drop a tone like this. And then right here, you're going to add a little bit darker value that's going to create what they call as a core shadow. And that really makes something look really round. So let's come in here to the bottom of our nose and just do a light tone. And then right here, just drop in a dark value. Just going in and adding a couple more of these wrinkles that are just fantastic. Okay, from his nose, let's come here and give our mustache an outline. Now think of this as going across the face, so it's going to have a nice curve to it. Ooh, I just made a mistake. I jumped ahead of myself. I started to draw the mustache going above his nose, but look very carefully. No, his mustache is down below. Look at that. What's up here is this is going to be the barrel of his mouth. The barrel of his mouth goes behind the nose, right down here, right below the fatty part of the chin. Okay, let's bring his chin in. Now look right there. You see that? That right there is the edge of his cheekbone. And then we're going to angle in. So let's kind of try and capture that. So I'm going to be right above my nose here. And then I'm going to angle in just like that. All right, let's jump to the other side of his face. And what I'm looking for right here is if this is the corner of his eye, which I've established that. Look, that's where his hairline is. So that's the distance that I want to try and match. So let's see if it's about, if that was the inside corner of his eye, it's about half an eye width, right? So let's see, that's about half right there. I'm going to be right about there. Okay, let's take a look now at look at this negative space in here. You see this negative space? Let's try and like position where that beard starts by looking for that. So we're going to be there, and then of course his hat is going to come down here. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then let's come in here now and think of the outline of this beard. So let's see, it's going to come out here. And I'm pulling back from my drawing just a bit. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Now I could come in here and erase some of this so it doesn't get confused. All right, let's look at the shape of his hair next, because we're gonna build this out just a bit. Okay, so there's that. We already have that there. So there is the overall shape of his hair on that side, and then that is the shape on the other side. You see that? So let's try and get those shapes down. Okay. We're going to save we'll come back and put the, we're going to come back and put the cowboy hat in at the very end. Okay, so let's get back into our drawing here. Now, before we go into detail of his beard, let's add some tone to this face. So only looking at his face in particular, I want to ask myself this question. Where is the lightest light? Where is the lightest light? Do we have any guesses in the chat? Any guesses? Where is the lightest light on his face? Anyone? First one. Let's see who's the first one to put in a guess. Where is the lightest light on his face? I know there's a little bit of a delay. Let's see. Is there anyone asleep? Anyone awake? Come on. Oh. Okay, I'm going to give it away. I'm pointing to it. The lip. Yeah. Woo, Allison. Yeah. Good job. The lip in his cheek. Yes, absolutely. So that's going to be, let's use the whiteness of our page to make sure that we really respect those two areas. Okay, so let's come in. Let's think of this with 3 tones. All right, so I'm just going to kind of come over here and draw 3 tones for you. So there's, ooh, that might be a little dark. So let's just, there's a lighter tone. Okay, we'll put that light tone on each of these squares. And then there's the darker tone. So those are 3 tones for us, okay? So let's come into our picture, and we're going to drop an overall tone over this whole entire face, except where his lips are. And we could we could be careful of the lips and the right corner of his face, okay? So let's just drop an overall tone. Take your time. I'm not going to rush you on this. Now, this doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Just close enough, all right? So there's our first tone. Okay, let's come in now. Let's think about our secondary value. Where is the darkest area of the secondary value? Okay, it's in the side of his head up here. It's under his eyes, and it's like right on the inside part of his nose and the other inside part. So here, let's put those in, just something like this. 3 tones, that's all I'm looking for. Good job, Russell. Russell, did you cheat? Did you just copy Allison's answer? All right, you still get credit. All right, so there we go. There's 2 tones that we just dropped in, and let's leave it at that, and let's bring up some of the others. Okay, so the next tone that I see that I want to put in is hair. His hair on the right side. That's a pretty darker value than the rest of the face. So let's put that in there. And I'm just slowly building this up before I put any detail in this hair here. Okay, I'm going to jump to the other side and do the same. Now this one, okay. right? Let's even look at the mustache now. The mustache changes in value. You see that? So let's add some value to that mustache. And then even his beard changes. Now this is lighter. Now I'm squinting my eyes looking at both sides of this face here compared to the picture, and look at this. This whole side, I need to go down another value on this left side here. All right. Let's get into the detail of his hair now that we've kind of amassed this out. So let's start with his mustache. I'm just kind of adding some hairs that kind of follow the surface of that mustache. Okay, let's get some of this hair into this beard here, because this is really interesting. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of think of this very lightly. I'm going to think of this curly Q here. And like we just did our little pre-show, and then I'm going to get the next hair right next to it. This next little grouping. Okay. I'm not going after every single hair here, just enough to really kind of get it to read. I know that doesn't really explain it, but you just have got to. This is why I like to put a tone in first, because it will help not to have to put in every single hair. You start thinking of this thing more as a mass instead of as individual hairs. Okay, this is interesting. I'll give you a minute here. We got to. Now, if you look if you look at this area right there, look at that. Look at the amount of contrast there is between his beard and his hair in the back. You see that? That's a lot of contrast. That's something we really need to play up here. So let's do his hair on the right side now, keeping what I just said in mind. So look at this now. Look, we showed you how to do the curls and the hair and the beard, but look at this one. Look at this one right there. Boom. Boom. You see this? That is a big one. So here, let me erase it now and you can see what I'm looking at. You see? Let's draw that. Okay. Let's add tone in the back here just a bit so it pops this beard off. We really want our eye to jump right to that edge. All right, let's jump to the other side. What's this looking like over here? Okay, so we've... All right, I'm going to hit the outline of the beard on the far right side. And then just... I'm not going to put too many hairs over here because I'm just going to let... I'm going to let the imagination, which makes things far more interesting, imply all the hairs in this bottom part of this beard. So yeah. You can come in if you want. I'm still doing it. Oh, that's my wife, Jackie. She is off on... She's a nurse and she is off on Wednesdays. All right. All right, so there's his hair on the other side there, okay? Okay, time to get this cowboy hat in place. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to do this first. Duplicate that. I'm going to come down and size this. All right. Let's erase that. Okay, cowboy hat. Let's get this where his where it's going to come in contact with his head first here. How's that look? That looks pretty good. And the first thing I want to think of is the dome. I want to think of the center part that's going up. Okay, so let's look over here. It's going to be right about there. And I'm trying to envision, look at this. That's the shape. That's the shape I'm trying to envision, okay? So let's see if we come up here. And here's a little thing. Look, right there, that's the center of his head. If If I do a vertical line, okay, great. That's where the point of his hat must go, right there. All right. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's get this brim in now. All right, how far this brim now? Look at this. This is where it's going to come in on the back of his head, and that, how does that line up? Oh, that lines up right below his nose. That's a great measurement. So we're going to come in right there. Okay, we could put a little mark there. And where does it going to come into the backside here? Look at that. Oh, wow. That comes in right below his eye. So let's put that mark right there. All right, now let's kind of try and guess of how far out this is going to come. That's going to come out, let's see, there's the side of his head. Look, there's the width of his head, right? Wow, that almost comes out a whole nother width of his head. Okay, that's good to know. So let's see. We're going to start there. There's the width of his head. So I'm going to come way out there. All right, what about the other side? We're going to be way up there, right? And that isn't quite as wide, but it's going to come out about there maybe, right? Somewhere up there. I'm going to erase all this now. Okay, you ready? It's like you're going to go on a, let's see this. So this is the, how high up? This is the other mark I want to look at right here. That right there, okay? It's going to be right about there. Okay, here we go. It's like a rodeo. I'm going to hold my pencil toward the back. Oops. How's that look? Ooh. That looks awful. That's okay though. Oh my. That looks awful. So I have to make an adjustment here. Okay. Then, of course, this is going to come out all the way over here. That's going to change the look there a little bit. And then this is going to come down like this. Hopefully, you did better than me on that first go around, huh? All right, let's get the brim of this hat in. Now, remember, the center point of that hat is going to be about here. And we kind of have the shape, so let's come up here. And now look at the band. The band of his hat is I'm looking up at it, kind of like a cylinder. Look, you see, you're looking up at a cylinder there. Same thing with this band. So let's get this band in right. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a tone on this. An even tone across the whole thing first. Then come in with my and now look at this. Yeah, you just keep seeing little things. Look at the value here. So I need to really drop this value back in his forehead there. Now I'm just going in and just making some final adjustments here. The drop length of the beard is about the same drop length of the rest of his face. I'm seeing all this stuff now. Sorry if you didn't mention this already. Oh no, you're good. You're good. I would, yeah. What you're saying is what happened there? You're saying that the beard is about the same length as his face. That's a great observation, Russell. All right, I think that's going to do it for today. Right now, we're having sign-ups for the different memberships. So if you like what we're doing, this of course is free every week, so you want to check it out. But if you sign up for the Superfan tier, I'm going to have a special class on drawing animals on Friday that will be similar to this. So you'll want to check that out. But hey, that's it for today. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. Thanks for tuning in, and good job, Russell, on your answers, and Allison. Appreciate that. Kevin, I hope you did great. Can't wait to see your work. Join our Facebook group. Post your work there. Let's see what you did. And that's what I got today, okay? This has been Wednesday afternoon. My name's Kurt, and I'm a dad who draws. Go out there, make your day great. Bye-bye.